Hi there, Simon from simonwoods.com. Italy, and Italy on the other side of the world we've got in this video. I've got two Chiantis, and then I've got a Sangiovese made by the same guy who makes the two Chiantis, but from Australia. And then, carrying on the Australian theme, I've got a Montepulciano from Australia as well. Without any further ado, let's dig in. Da Vinci Chianti, Collezione Speciale. It's from the town of Vinci, where Leonardo came from, Leonardo da Vinci. So this is from the co-op there, Cantina Leonardo da Vinci. And the first three, they're all made with help from consultant winemaker Leonardo DiCaprio. No, made from, I'll get there, Alberto Antonini. Antinori. No, Antonini. Alberto Antonini, who's I think cut his winemaking teeth in Tuscany, but now makes wine here, there, everywhere. He's doing some stuff in Australia, and he's doing some stuff in Argentina. Don't know if he's doing anything in Chile, but certainly Argentina and Italy. Probably those are his two big ones. Anyway, basic Chianti, not Chianti Classico. Chianti Classico is like the heart, the proper Chianti, as the purists, and certainly those in Chianti Classico, call it. And then round it there's other places that started calling their wine Chianti because they wanted to look up to Chianti Classico. But it's same grapes, mainly Sangiovese. I don't know whether there's other grapes in there, but we're probably talking 90% Sangiovese at least. Stick my nose in, and it's got that nice, juicy, earthy, slightly feral cherry edge. One of the problems I've had with Alberto Antonini's wines sometimes is they can be almost like a bit too clean. But what I've noticed in the last maybe 3 or 4 years, he's getting a bit more earthy grunt into the wines. They started off, just that little bit too clean. Now they're getting a bit wilder. So I get some of that herby wildness here, which is very nice. Yeah, it's got fruit flavours of things like cherries, raspberries. There's a slightly sour, bitter edge, and I can feel the tannins. I can feel the acidity. It's not very structured. That fruit is there, but it's encased in something that makes you think, I couldn't drink this by itself, but with some food, wonderful. And it's got this sappy, refreshing edge, an edge of violets maybe. Good wine. Yeah, I like that. Next one, Poggio Tondo. Established by Alberto's father in the late 60s. So, again, not Chianti Classico, Chianti Superiore, which just means it's got a higher degree of alcohol than basic Chianti. If that's wrong, shoot me. So 2007, a year older and a better vintage. Now there's a little more flesh and polish here. It feels like it's had more time in new oak. But the oak's not dominant. You've got this ever so slightly nail varnish edge of volatility, but again it's in balance with the wine, and the fruit feels more polished. Really dark Morello cherry type of aromas. Serious wine that. Yes, it's got this sappy cherry kernel and and these black cherries. Maybe a few black currants in there, and this seam of minerality coming through as well, coming across like we've got this slightly slaty almost. I'm not sure what the soil will be here, but you can tell that this comes from a place rather than a factory. It tastes good, and it tastes promising. It's got this sappy, refreshing, juicy edge here, and as with the first one, it's got this tannin and acidity to keep it all fresh and in balance. And again, I've had problems with Antonini's wines in the past for being too clean. That one's got honest. You can taste the soil there. Let's see if you can taste the soil when the wine he makes on the other side of the world. Same vintage, 2007, from Heathcote in Victoria, Australia. Greenstone Vineyard. It's a vineyard that I think he co-owns with his English importer, a guy called David Gleave. And there's a viticulturalist called Mark Walpole, I think, who's involved here. And I think they've been going about since 2003, something like this. One of the reservations I had with this, as you see, I've just twisted the screw cap off. Sometimes I find that screw cap reds, they really do need time to come out of their shell. So if you have got reds with screw caps at home, try and open them a couple of hours in advance, slosh them into just a big water jug, give them a whirl round. If you want, pour them back into the bottle, makes it look a bit prettier. But yes, so let's see whether that's a problem here. So it'll be pretty young vines, so planted in 2003, and this is so only 4 years later. And it's quite a different smell. I'm getting sometimes people say Sangiovese cola. I get more of that cola edge here than I was getting in the two Italian ones. And there's a slightly leathery edge as well. It feels warmer, riper, but it still tastes of Sangiovese, or still smells of Sangiovese. I think about where people have done well in Australia with Sangiovese, and there's a winery in McLaren Vale called Coriol, which has been doing it for 20 odd years, and their wines are good, but this one smells like it's got a bit more Italianity, for want of a better term, to it. But it does smell Australian. It's got that the varnishy edge that I was getting on the second one here, but it's got this ripeness mixed in with it, and not quite as much of that earthy character. Maybe that will come as the vines get older and as the winemaking and viticultural team get a bit more experience. What they've done that's really nice there, they've not tried to over-extract it. There's a lot of flavour in the grapes, and it would have been very easy for them to match them all together. They really do lots of extraction, and they would have extracted some of those slightly bitter edges. There is an ever so slight note of bitter cherries that's coming through, but they've handled it nicely. The tannins are coming through, acidity's there, and yeah, I am getting a bit of like earthy terroir edge, what I call life beyond fruit, and not quite as subtle as the Poggio Tondo, but still a satisfying drop. And I know that some people will prefer that one to the slightly lighter, yeah, more cerebral, more physical, whichever you're into. Okay, final wine, rather nice label, Minchia Montepulciano from Adelaide Hills in South Australia, 2008, from First Drop Wines. I did a video a couple of days ago that featured the anais from these guys, and one of them's a guy called Matt Gant, who used to be at St Hallett's, but is now involved with First Drop. And again, screw cap. Will it need time to open up? Certainly the Sangiovese will look good straight out of the traps. Now this smells riper, it smells fleshier and jammier, which for me that is Sangiovese compared with Montepulciano. I expect Montepulciano to be a bit more forceful, a bit more fleshy, a bit more forward, and certainly that's the case here. There's a bit of what I call baked berry edge. It feels like some of the grapes have almost got that little bit too ripe. The Australians use the term dead grape. It's not got too much dead grape or dead fruit character here, but it feels like some of the bits got just that little bit too ripe. Yeah, forceful, plummy, very Australian in its upfront fruit, but with that slightly savoury, sappy edge of the Italian grape, which is a nice combination. So it starts off all quite big and bold, and then it's got this savoury edge of acidity and yeah, some tannin there just to freshen up the finish. I like that. Not as much as the Sangiovese, but I like that. And the finish I'm left with is firm and chewy, and feels like a wine that's got quite a bit of potential, as the Sangiovese has. But actually, all of them. I wouldn't be surprised if all of them are going strong in 3 or 4 years' time, and maybe the Poggio Tondo even longer. Nice quartet. See you soon.